They say that BOAT is an acronym for Bring On Another 1,000, but don't believe the hype.
In actuality, living on a boat doesn't have to be cost prohibitive.
Compared to living in a house, living on a boat can be quite affordable. You can live on a boat on just about any budget. Just depends on how extravagant you want to get.
Today, we're going to walk you through the various expenses that we incur on our liveaboard life here in a marina in San Diego, California. We're so glad you took the time to join us today, and if you're new, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. That way you'll be notified of our future episodes.
Hey y'all, welcome to the Sea All Life. I'm Andrea, this is Tom, and we have 2 pups. We're a couple of Texas transplants living the empty nest life to the fullest. For us, that's living part-time on our 44-foot DeFever trawler in San Diego. Our hope is that as you join us on our dreams and adventures, we'll inspire you to discover your own.
We're curious about your thoughts. How much do you think it costs to live aboard a boat for a year? Let us know in the comments below. Honestly, before we bought our first liveaboard boat, we really thought this lifestyle was completely out of our reach financially. Just over 5 years ago, we brought our little Sea-Doo jet boat from the desert to San Diego for the weekend. Our guest slip that weekend was actually right here on the dock we now live on. We marveled at all the 30 and 40-foot boats, and we just assumed they cost a small fortune. But the truth is, you can live on a boat for almost any budget. It just depends on the size, the age, and the condition of the boat you want to get. Now these boats, they're a different story. These are the mega yachts that live right next door to us. Our marina is just right over there. You can see the sails to J-Dock. There's the Marriott. But this is the 5th Street Landing, and these are some big boats, and these are expensive boats. Our first liveaboard boat was a 32-foot 1983 Bayliner, a modest boat that came with a modest price tag. But it was the perfect boat for us to dip our toes in the water to see if the liveaboard life was for us. We thought this was a really important thing to do before buying a larger boat. So when it comes to discovering how much it costs to own and maintain a boat, let's just start with first things first, the boat itself. Now you can start big and grand, but you certainly don't have to. Like I said, we sure didn't. You would be pleasantly surprised to see how affordable owning a boat really can be. Now we do have friends and acquaintances, others that we know on the dock, who have $1 million plus boats. We also know others who have boats that cost $30,000 or less. Most people we know have invested somewhere between $100,000 and $250,000 for their approximately 40-foot liveaboard boats. But you can also buy one for far less if you want to refit it yourself. And that's far less than buying a house in Southern California. One thing to keep in mind is that the length of your boat will play a large factor in all the other expenses involved. Most of your services and needs will be billed per foot. Our DeFever trawler is our second liveaboard boat, and she's about 44 feet long. So keep in mind, your costs and expenses will differ depending on whether your boat is larger or smaller. We love our neighborhood here in the marina. There's Sea All, right back there. Today I'm going to go over all the expenses we've incurred to live on our boat for the past year. I'm not going to include things like groceries or incidentals. This is really just going to cover the cost of living on and maintaining a boat in the marina, as well as cruising around the San Diego area. First, I'm going to go over our monthly cost, and of course, the most expensive of those is our monthly marina slip fees. Although our marina is by no means the most expensive marina in the San Diego area, we do pay a nice price tag for the amenities that we receive. We're in an excellent downtown location, and our marina at the Marriott also includes room service, an amazing pool, and a gym. We pay just over $1,000 a month, and that includes $902 a month for our trawler, and then $100 a month for the slip fee for our Boston Whaler. Our slip fee also includes all the water we need for the month. Though this isn't a marina amenity, a huge perk we get is the brand new Shell amphitheater. This amphitheater replaced what used to be a temporary one that was constructed each summer. This is a major amenity we get for free just because of the location of our dock in the marina. From the dinghy deck of our boat, we can see the stage and we get to watch free concerts and fireworks every weekend of the summer. Now, of course, this didn't take place during COVID, but it's starting up again soon. Rumor has it that the new Shell is going to have something like 300 shows a year.
There's the new Shell, aka San Diego Symphony Orchestra Extravaganza. It's opening soon. Andrea, when's it opening?
It's opening around the second or first weekend of August. We have been waiting a long time for this.
Yeah, so it's the $80 million venue. It was supposed to cost $40 million and it went over, but we're in a high real estate market over here and with a great view of the symphony and all the acts that are going to play here.
And right now, it's the actual San Diego Symphony that's practicing, but we get way, way more than just the San Diego Symphony. We really get some great talent that comes in here, and with this brand new Shell compared to the old temporary one that we put up every summer, it's rumored that the new acts are going to be amazing. We're gonna see some great bands here. Other marina costs are our internet at about $56 a month, our discount parking passes at the marina for $60 a month, and then our electricity, which averages out around $35 a month. Our marina does not include pump out facilities, so we pay Charlie from Pepe about $60 a month to pump out our boat on a weekly basis. I saw your boat once. You're over by Valley High, right?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of boat do you have?
It's a houseboat, so 55-foot houseboat.
Okay, I don't remember how I knew it was your boat, but maybe this boat was next to it or something like that. Okay, so you told me this great line the other time. If you could say it again, you said something like, who knew that one day your most fulfilling job would be pump and poop? Can you say something like that?
Good. Well, yeah, that's probably true. I mean, Carol and I had a lot of businesses when we were married, and we were successful at pretty much everything. We busted out a couple of times, but never in my life did I think the happiest job I could possibly have is riding around from boat to boat and emptying their waste tank. I got at least 20 or 25 of these wonderful little four-legged critters that just love to see me every time I get to a boat, and I love to see them. And that really even makes it a lot more fun because I think I like the doggies more than I like the people, but the people are pretty good too.
The puppies love Charlie, and he's one of my favorite vendors as well. Our boat insurance is about 1% of the cost of our boat, and so that runs us around $1,900 a year. We pay Boat US $179 a year. Boat US is sort of like AAA for a car. If we're ever out on the water and we have problems, they'll tow us back to land. We are super thankful we have never had to use Boat US in our 5 years of boating in San Diego. One monthly expense we cannot forgo is the hull cleaning. We use Carlos from Aravena Dive and Topside Service. Here's Carlos sharing more about what he does and why this monthly maintenance is really important.
I clean the bottom of the boat from the water line to the very deep. I take care of the barnacle once a month. All the metal clean, without color, without all the growth. And I replace the sinks once in a while, like every 3 months, to keep all the metal out of the electrolysis. So that's basically what I do.
Okay, and how often do you come and do it?
Once a month. Once a month is good enough in winter time. Summertime, every 3 weeks.
Okay.
The recommendation.
Like how long does it take you to do this boat?
Like 45 minutes to 1 hour. Something like that.
Okay. Thanks,
All right.
Carlos.
Thank
What's
you.
the name of your company?
Aravena Dive.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Hull cleaning of our trawler is about $70 a month, while the hull cleaning of the Boston Whaler is only $20 per month. Then about 4 times a year, Carlos changes out our zincs, and that cost $100 each time, so another $400 a year for the zincs. Because CL is incredibly fuel efficient, we really don't spend very much money on fuel each year, mostly because we just cruise in the San Diego area. We've owned CL for almost 3 years, and believe it or not, we just put diesel into the tanks for the second time this past weekend. The first time we put diesel in was about $100. This past weekend, we had a total bill of $574. We added 115 gallons of fuel at $4.09 a gallon. The total cost was $475. We also added a quart of fuel stabilizer, so our total bill was $545. Our tank holds 900 gallons and we only burn about 2 gallons an hour per engine. That's one of the reasons we love owning a trawler. In addition to fuel for CL, we also spend about $160 a year for fuel for our Boston Whaler and our inflatable dinghy. Our tax assessment for the year is $1,800. We do the majority of the cleaning on our boat, but every 4 to 6 weeks we do have the top side cleaned professionally, and that costs us $135 each time.
This is Carmello. He's awesome, and Carmello has cornered the market here in the Marina for washing all the boats, and he also has pump out service.
Carmello also offers waxing services. We did not have to have that done this year, but when we do again, it will run us somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000. Where else can you live on the water in San Diego for a rent of about $1,000 a month plus a few other expenses? Our total recurring costs for a year are $21,230, and that breaks down to a monthly cost of $1,769. Next, I'm going to go over the cost of maintenance and repairs that we've incurred during the past year. We'll add up the total amount and then we'll determine the average monthly cost. Keep in mind, this amount will change from year to year, depending on what breaks.
What are some of the expenses we've had this year on CL? I was trying to think about that this morning, and I thought, I bet Tom has a better notion of what that is.
Besides the regular expenses?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously repairs that come out of the blue, some preventative maintenance that I really didn't factor in, but
What are some of those things, both of those repairs and preventative?
yeah, so we had some impeller issues, and we had oil change and fuel filter change, some hose changes. We had a leak on our dripless shafts, and we had to get those repaired. And toilet problem that I remember that I didn't want to deal with.
That was a biggie.
And the hull out was last year. That was pretty costly. We added some additions, and we had the bottom, cleaned and painted. We added some underwater lights, and they did some other work while we had it out. But yeah, this year so far, mostly just repair and maintenance.
We had our boat hauled out this past year because it was time to get the bottom painted. And while it was out, we also had our water pump rebuilt. In addition, we had underwater lights added. Now those actually go in a different category because that's just an improvement we wanted to have, not something that we had to have done. The underwater lights installation was $150, and we spent about $600 on the lights themselves. My least favorite repair of the last year, by far, was one of the toilets. Now older boats have finicky toilets, and so we don't flush paper of any kind down our toilets. But last year we had a visitor who unfortunately did do that, and it cost a little bit of a nightmare. In fact, we had sticker shock. It cost $900 to fix our toilet. But wow, I hate to spend $900 on a toilet. What I would have hated even more was to have spent the 10 hours that a repairman spent down there in my bathroom. It was a messy job. I'm just so thankful there are companies out there that will do that kind of work for us. Next, our hatch above the V-berth started to leak. Tom and his good friend Robert fixed that themselves, and the hatch itself cost $400. A couple of months ago, we had to spend $800 on stuffing box leak repair, and we spent another $300 on a generator impeller. Oil filters, Fuel filters, Raycor filters, and hoses cost another $150. Our repairs and maintenance for this past year came to $5,400. That's a monthly cost of $450. Lastly, I'm going to cover the upgrades and the improvements that we chose to make. These are things we didn't have to do, just things we wanted to do, and things we invested in this past year. You can learn all about these upgrades and improvements right here in our episode that tells you all about the upgrades we've made since we purchased Sea Yacht. Our favorite improvement of the year by far was our brand new Fusion stereo system. We purchased and had installed the stereo equipment, an amp, 6 speakers and a subwoofer, and a top-of-the-line Fusion unit at a cost of $1,500. We paid an additional $1,500 for the installation. Another upgrade we chose this year was to have our V-berth cushions recovered at a cost of $650. We also had our kitchen chair cushions recovered at a cost of $150, and both of those costs included fabric and labor. Our good friend Robert made a platform for our stairs to bring them to a more appropriate height, and the materials cost about $100 for that. Then Tom installed some new horns for another $100. I love decorating, and I spent about $500 this year on my new coffee table, some lamps, and some artwork. Oh, and the pillows. And pillows. And more pillows. What can I say? I have a pillow problem. Our upgrades and improvements totaled $4,500 for the year and a monthly cost of $375. Keeping in mind that these are costs that we elected for, not that we had to spend. Our total recurring monthly and yearly cost, repair and maintenance costs, and our upgrades and improvement costs come to a grand total monthly of $2,594 and a grand total for the year of $31,130. So what do you think? Were our expenses more or less than you would have guessed? Let us know in the comments below. Hopefully you found this helpful and that it has given you some insight on what it costs to live on a boat for a year. Is there anything we didn't cover or that you wished we had dived a little more deeply in? Let us know. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up. Also, we hope you'll subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified of our future episodes. We thank you for spending time with us today. See y'all soon.